everybody, welcome to NFL Picks. I am Drunk Farmer. How are you? This is my pretty face. Now, if you haven't watched the show, basically what NFL Picks is during the NFL season, I pick the winners of each game. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but hey, I'm only human. Also, that's what this show's about. And if there's any big NFL news, I'll get on and give you my opinion about it also. But today, I'm going to pick the division winners out of each division, both the AFC and NFC. And I do this every year. Last year, I was subpar at most. Kind of sucked last year, let's put it that way. So, let me sit back here. All right, let's begin. AFC East. Now, the AFC East is going to be interesting this year. I think, this is my own opinion, I think the AFC East is going to be real interesting because it has to do with the New York Jets. Did the New York Jets finally find that piece of the puzzle that they were missing? They say they did. They say they did. And it was Aaron Rodgers. Now, can the New York Jets dethrone the Buffalo Bills? That is another tough question. But all in all, I think this division is going to come down to those two teams. But I've watched Miami out of this one, okay? I mean, Miami could sneak in there and maybe ruin someone's season. So watch for Miami to do that. So, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to pick. And I've been just debating about this in my head for the last couple days. And I don't know. The first unit of the of the Buffalo Bills, I saw on TV, they looked, maybe they'll get better. It wasn't the greatest performance, but yet it's preseason. But I'm going to pick the Bills by that much over the Jets. I think the Jets will get a wild card. But like I said, watch for Miami to ruin someone's season. But I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to take the AFC East. Moving over to the AFC Central. Here's the traffic jam. Look at the quarterbacks in this division. Kenny Pickett's, he's going to be good in the future. You got Deshaun Watson from Cleveland. Lamar Jackson, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And Joe Burrows of Cincinnati. That's some pretty good talent in that division. And what that's doing, these teams are going to be close. They're going to be tight. I think it's going to be an interesting race. Yeah, Deshaun Watson played last year, but he only played like the last, 4 games maybe? So that really didn't count. Let's see what Deshaun Watson can do with Cleveland this year for a full season. That'd be interesting. What can Kenny Pickett do with Pittsburgh? That's going to be interesting. But the big story, in my opinion, what's Lamar Jackson going to do? Oh, the highest paid quarterback. And these people in Baltimore want to say, hey, Lamar, let's go. You got your money. You got what you wanted. Take us to the promised land. But first, we have to win a division. I don't know. This, like I said, I think this is going to come down. This might be really, really close. And it's going to be who's going to be the better team, which that's going to be interesting. Is it going to be Baltimore? Is it going to be Cincinnati? Possibly Cleveland, maybe Pittsburgh. See my dilemma here with this division? But I did finally figure this out. I'm going to pick Baltimore by that much over everybody. It's going to be a tight race, but I think Baltimore will pull it out. I think their defense is going to help them out a little bit, and I think Lamar Jackson probably will have a good season and get the Baltimore Ravens a division championship. So, for their division. After that, I don't know. We move on to the AFC South. Yeah, that's a popping division there. Last year, who would have thought Jacksonville would have won that division? Who would have thought? No one. Everybody was picking Jacksonville to be, well, in the basement again in that division, along with Houston. But not anymore. Jacksonville has a football team. I know, it's shocking to see that. Everybody's thought that Jacksonville was going to fall flat on their face last year. And they didn't. They won a division and made the playoffs. Wow. With that kind of, well, they were below 500. I know that. But can Jacksonville do it again? Yeah, I think so. Because the AFC South division right now is weak. I don't see Indianapolis doing a lot. I don't see... Maybe Tennessee might give Jacksonville a run, but I don't see that. That's about it. Houston. I'm sorry. No, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance in hell. So, picking Jacksonville from the South. AFC West, simple pick. Kansas City. That's it. I don't think anybody can dethrone Kansas City in the West. The Raiders may give them a tussle. Maybe the Chargers. Possibly Denver. But I think Kansas City still got a lot in them. I think they still got a lot of gas in the tank. They are the kings of the West. And they're going to remain kings of the West. Kansas City will have the Western Division. Moving over to the NFC. The NFC East. Oh, boy, this is going to come down to possibly 3 teams. Don't count the Giants out. Dallas and Philadelphia, that's pretty norm right now. But who's going to win that Eastern Conference? Now, the Eagles look pretty good. Even though they lost their defensive coordinator and their offensive coordinator to head coaching jobs, can the Eagles rebound? Can the Eagles do what they did last year? It's a good possibility that they can. Jalen Hurts is pretty good. You got talent around this guy. He's going to do a lot of things. Defensively, I think Philadelphia is okay. So, but then you got Dallas, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones's team, the house that Jerry built. Can Dak Peterson get Dallas into the playoffs or win a playoff game or whatever? Can Dallas finally do something? Because I know a lot of people in Dallas are getting frustrated. And I know their head coach might be on the hot seat this year. So things have to happen in Dallas for Dallas to just make it into the playoffs, either a wild card or a division champion. But I would have to say this. Am I going to pick? Who I'm going to pick? Now, you have the New York Giants. Now, the Giants have been improving. I'd watch out for the New York Giants because they can kind of sneak in there. So, I know I haven't mentioned the Washington Commanders. They maybe have a slight shot, okay, there for all you Washington Commanders fans. But all in all, I think it's going to be a 3-team race. Maybe possibly a 4-team race. But I'm going to pick Philly this year in the Eastern Conference. Moving on. Central Division. I know. The Packers are not going to win it. Let's just say it right now. The Packers are not going to win the Central Division of the NFC. There, I said it. Okay, here's what's going to happen. It looks like a lot of people like Detroit. A lot of people like the Chicago Bears. And I'm a Bears fan. And believe me, the only thing that's holding me back from the Bears winning the division in this is probably their offensive line. Because their offensive line has been horrible for the last few years. I don't know. Last year, Justin Fields was running for his life because his offensive line couldn't block. They couldn't block anybody. And here's Justin Fields running for his life. Plus, the Chicago Bears had somewhat of a running game with Justin Fields. That was about it on offense. That worries me a little bit. And some people were picking the Chicago Bears pretty high in this division. You know what? I don't know. I have my doubts on the Bears. But anyway, I digress. Can Minnesota come down with it? Now, a lot of people are I'm going to say this, and I'm trying to pinch myself for not saying this. Is Detroit that good? Some people think so. Some of the experts think that Detroit's that good. Some people think the Detroit Lions will go to a playoff game this year. I don't know. It's an interesting evaluation. Then you got Minnesota, who had a pretty good year last year. Basically, this Central Division is wide open. It is wide open like a wide open highway. You know what? I'm going to say this, and I may regret saying this. I'm going to pick Detroit. The Detroit Lions. I almost said Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Lions to win the Central Division. I may regret that pick, but that's okay. I got nothing to lose. Moving on. AFC South. This ought to be interesting. You got two teams that are going to be fighting for this. This is going to be a two-team race, I think. You got the Saints and Derek Carr. You got the Falcons. Then you got Carolina and Tampa Bay. I'm going to pick. I don't know who to pick. I really don't. I've seen the Saints play and I've seen the Falcons play, but granted it's preseason, so you can't really judge off that anymore. I like the Saints. I do, by that much. I think the Saints can pull it out. Some experts are saying the Falcons, but I think the Saints will pull it out by that much. So there you go. Saints for the South. Western Division. Oh, God. This is a traffic jam. I think this division in the NFC West is wide open because a lot of people are thinking that. First of all, can San Francisco do it again? Can San Francisco do it what they've been doing for the last couple of years? If they could find a quarterback. They got 3 quarterbacks and I don't think they've decided who's going to be the starting quarterback. I don't think we're going to know until probably the first game of the season with San Francisco. Could it be Purdy? Could it be Trey? Could it be, I don't know the other guy, but all in all, they got 3 quarterbacks. Who's going to start? A lot of people like to see Purdy start for San Francisco. I do too. I think he's got something going on there. So, but each quarterback in San Francisco is different in their own little ways. Now, then you got Seattle up in the Great Northwest and Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno Smith. Everybody remembers Geno Smith. Well, some people do. But Geno has resurrected his career in Seattle. Seattle might get in on this action here. I think Seattle and San Francisco are going to be fighting for that top spot. But then you have the Los Angeles Rams. Wait a minute. The Rams. Let's not forget about the Rams. I mean, let's face it. Last year, the Rams fell flat on their face. Can they rebound from all this? They haven't really exactly played all their starting players in preseason. So it's hard to say. All in all, this may be a 3-team race in this Western Division. Seattle, San Francisco, and the Los Angeles Rams. Arizona, well, sorry, Arizona fans. I don't think you got it. But the 3-team race could be interesting. I'm going to pick the Niners to win this. To win the Western Division. So, let's recap. Buffalo, there's one. Jacksonville, Baltimore, Kansas City. In the NFC, Philly, Saints, Detroit, and the 49ers. So, let me know how you guys feel about this. Do you guys disagree or agree? Put in the comment box below. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. Until here in a couple of weeks, I'll be back to predict the first week of the NFL. Until then, thank you for watching. I am Drunk Farmer. We'll see you then. So long, everybody, and have a wonderful week.